This is a human design reading, and for the purpose of this call, we're just going to go ahead and do the reading, and then at the end of the call, I'll take any questions that you have, so jot them down. So human design, it's one of the best transformational tools that I've literally ever experienced in my life, because it puts together like 8 different systems. It puts together astrology, I Ching, chakras, tree of life from the Kabbalah, and quantum mechanics, astronomy, genetics, and biochemistry, all together to give you information about who you are, your aura, and how you operate in the world, so that way you can live with ease and grace being yourself. So human design, it actually explains the consciousness, your both conscious and unconscious parts of yourself. The aspects that you sometimes think who you are on personality level are not who you are on identity level. And your identity level is what actually runs the show. So today you'll understand more of who you are based on specific time and place. You've decided to incarnate into having a physical body for a specific purpose with specific characteristics that are true for you. Because each person is different. And this science shows you how you are different from the rest and what piece of the puzzle you play for all other types of energy. So let's just quickly dive straight into your human design. You are a manifesting generator. So there are 4 types of designs. There are manifesting generators, projectors, manifestors, and reflectors. Now, inside the manifesting generator column, there's also generators that don't have that word manifesting next to them. There's one difference between manifesting generators and generators, and that is that manifestors can respond a lot quicker to the initiations. When people initiate to them different types of projects, manifesting generators, their strategy is to respond, and they can respond a lot faster than regular generators. So that is the main difference. Now, the 4 different types, projectors are the guides. They can see through people. They design systems of how to work more efficiently. Manifestors are the initiators, are the people that say, here we're going to have an event. There's going to be 200 people. They're each going to pay $200. It is done, it is done, it is done. Those are manifestors. Now, manifesting generators and generators have a responding energy type. They get to respond and come and say, okay, I can do this part, I can do this part, I can do this part. So the difference between manifestors and manifesting generators is that manifestors, they are the initiators. They are the first ones to create from the very beginning, to initiate everything. Now, manifesting generators and generators, they get to respond to what is coming their way. So they don't get to be the first ones to initiate. They get to respond to an initiation. That is the strategy of a manifesting generator, and a generator. Now, hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, write down your questions, and then we'll address them at the end. So, to go a little deeper into the manifesting generator type, you can also do multiple projects at a time because you have different types of skills. So your energy can work in different ways. You also have an energetic body, which means that you have the energy to sustain life force energy and actually work on multiple projects at a time. You are about 33% of the population, and as a manifesting generator, you are quick to master new things. So first, you got to explore your passions to figure out what it is that you like to do, and then explore the different varieties. And it's it's not necessary for you to actually finish what you start. You don't have to see things to the end. Even if you don't know how that lesson may or a skill be useful for you, you don't have to lead it to the end. You've been conditioning yourself into a box so that the world can understand you and know where you're headed, which makes everyone more comfortable. But your challenge is to defy the pressure to be able to explain where you're going and be okay with not knowing where you're going. So you don't have to explain to people why you're doing certain things or where you're going. You don't have to submerge to this societal idea of needing to explain to people why you're doing something. So you're run by your intuition. So every person has a different strategy, which they have to trust in this lifetime in order to operate. It's like trusting your body because the body knows all the secrets. Yours is run by your gut intuition, which is the same as mine. It's the subtle little hunches that come from within that is not your gut. It's more splenic. It's like this voice that comes to you from nowhere and you have no idea where it's coming from and tells you to do something. You sometimes don't understand why it does that, but you can differentiate it from all other voices, including your intuition. So it's called splenic authority, which is that subtle voice that tells you go this way. You don't know why, but you got to trust it to go that way. And at the moment when you have this impulsive gut intuition, your whole body feels this rush of excitement. You have this surge of excitement run through your body, and your entire body says yes to something. And when your entire body says yes to it, that's the thing for you to pursue, because you are sacral authority. So your gut intuition is what runs your show, basically your whole life. So anything that comes from your mind is not yours. It comes from your environment. So everything that comes from inside of you, anything that's impulses from the inside, is who you are. And the gut is absolutely black and white. There are no shades of gray in it. It doesn't know a maybe. It's either you're a fuck yeah, or that you want something, or you're absolutely no, and you have to learn how to trust that. So if something lights you up when you first come across it, that's you knowing that you're meant to do it. You literally feel your entire body respond to something. And your body is going to communicate with you way before your mental has had the time to catch up with what's going on. You know what I mean? So you understand what's going on a little while afterwards when you're mentally making sense of why things had to happen the way that they did. Or as long as you trust and respond to your gut feelings, your intuitive knowing, you're always on the right path, even if you don't know why you're doing it mentally. So anytime your body feels like it perks up and like your gut is telling you don't go this way, that's not the way for you. Don't go that way, and don't try to rationalize it, because your mind will, try to talk you out of everything that you try to do. Trust your intuitive knowing. That's how you are run, by your intuition. And also trust your wants and desires, because society's told us that it's bad to want certain things and to have certain desires. We've been told to go get things that make logical sense, rather than just because we want them. But for you, the wanting is your sacred sign that will never lead you the wrong way. So learning to trust that physical attraction to something or your repulsion from something will eliminate so much confusion in your life and light the path ahead of you with a lot more clarity and simplicity. So this helps realize why making decisions from the mind does not work for you. You're not the logical thinker. You are a gut, intuition, feelings. And soon when I cover your strongest sense, you will see why your feelings are to be trusted. So since your gut speaks the language of yes and no, it's black and white. So it's challenging for your gut to answer questions that are open-ended, like what's my purpose? Even questions like where do I want to go for dinner is hard for you to answer. As a manifesting generator, you need to ask yourself yes/no questions. Like, does this event light me up, this specific event? Does this career or this fitness routine light me up? Is this a good idea for me? You operate in yes and no. So anytime that you are working with other people, this would make it easier for you to cooperate with them if you tell them that this is the way you work, this is your strategy, that you're a manifesting generator and you are here to respond to invitations and respond to people's questions if they give you a set of choices, because that makes it easy for you to decide which choice is for you. You're not here to create out of the blue. You're here to decipher between the different choices, which one resonates most with you out of the different things that are presented in front of you. So also, in terms of asking yourself questions, when you can't decide what to do, use yes/no questions. Make it very easy on yourself, because this is the way your body will tell you which way is right for you. Like, should I be going to this specific event tonight? And your body will speak to you in yes or no. Instead of which event should I host or which event should I attend, be very specific with it with yes, no, because it will start communicating with you. And the more you keep asking it yes, no questions, you will see how your gut intuition is speaking, and you'll learn to trust it more than the mind. So your gut will speak to you more and more as you learn to trust it if you operate correctly in your strategy. So if you keep asking yourself from now on, from this moment, from this recording, yes, no questions, and learn which signs indicate yes and no, and learn to trust them, then later on, the more complicated the questions are, you will know how your body communicates with you, because you have trained yourself to understanding what the gut intuitive feeling feels like by asking it smaller questions first. So this is your strategy and authority as a manifesting generator in human design, is to trust your gut, your intuition, your impulse, and ask yourself yes, no questions, and trust which way your gut, your intuition leads you. And then later, when you are conflicted with other people who are asking you broader questions, your job is to tell them to ask you specific questions or give you specific directions so that you can execute on the mission that is specific. If you don't learn to trust your gut intuition, if you don't ask yourself yes, no questions, or ask other people to ask you yes, no questions when they're asking you questions, then your gut is not going to keep communicating with you, and you won't know how to answer more complicated questions later if you haven't given it the chance and the practice to be able to communicate with you. And definitely do not override what your gut is telling you to do, because then it's not going to communicate with you as much later on. Do not use your physical logic to make decisions. Even though the voice may get loud in your head, that is not your truth. So I know a lot of us have been taught in school to think with the mind, and that the mind is in charge of all decision making, but that is not correct for your decision making. Whereas your body is leading you toward the possibilities that your mind cannot even fathom, but that are much more fulfilling and aligned with who you are. So trust that the only way you can create a life of joy is by following your joy from the inside out, trusting your gut intuition. And it doesn't have to make sense. You don't need to know why you're gravitating towards something. All you need to know is that you're here to experiment and follow that. Follow that inner knowing, that intuition, that gut letting you know, go this way. And the more you practice this, as I mentioned earlier, you'll see that tangible results in your life will become real. And it would be easier and easier the more that you follow your gut over time. So your personality, what I mentioned earlier, how you come across to yourself and the world is a 3-5. So just quickly, right before I dive into it, your energy type is a manifesting generator, which means that you have life force to sustain and do different projects, and you have a lot of energy to do them, and you make decisions quickly. And your intuition is what guides your path. So your gut intuition is how you should make decisions best. So now your personality type, how you come across to yourself and the world, is a 3-5. So write this down. You're a 3-5, manifesting generator, gut intuition. And the 3-5 is the great life experimenter, also known as a martyr heretic. So your personality is the great life experiment, also known as a 3-5. The first number describes the way that you see yourself, your dominant part, and the second part describes the way others see you. It serves us to have our own internal world that's not so obvious to others, and an external side of us for the physical world. So let's get in touch with both of these parts of ourselves. So you are the experimenter. This is the way that you see yourself. Your inside self is an adventurer, an experimenter. You like to experience many different things, see what works and what doesn't, and get wisdom from the outcomes. The main thing that prevents you from truly embracing this is that our culture doesn't see the value of being open to life teaching us. We feel safer intellectualizing about life rather than living it to the fullest. But for an experimenter, for you, the way that you see yourself, you are meant to trust that life is the best school possible, and every outcome contains wisdom that helps you get to the next level. You are here to jump into life with both feet because you have to taste life and live it to the fullest. It's a deep need of yours. What doesn't work out is just another stepping stone on the way to your success. And the quicker you embrace that some things might not work out, the faster you will get to succeeding. You are naturally designed to live through a trial and error process. So find a way to feel powerful as you do this and see it as fun, interesting, and playful. Know that failing at something doesn't make you bad or say anything about you personally, really. It just means that you are unafraid to try things where most people are afraid. You are designed to be brave. And the way that others see you is the liberator. Wow. This is the 5 in you. You have a save the day energy about you. You love to help people. Whether it's strangers or loved ones, you value all people equally. Because of this, and because you're naturally likable, people subconsciously sense that you can help them, guide them, or lead them. Sometimes they might put that expectation on you, whether they know they're doing it or not. Your work as a liberator is to discern which situations are yours to fix and save and which ones are not yours. So just because you can fix it, it doesn't mean that you should fix it. The right things to do are the situations you feel are a good fit for you to apply your gifts and talents, and the situations that actually excite you to participate in. So sometimes liberators try to fix everything because they want to make everyone happy. But if you step in and fix things for approval and recognition, you'll only deplete yourself and become your not self. When you are doing something that you actually want to do, it means it is correct for you. And when you're stepping in and improving the correct situations, they'll actually give you a burst of energy. So in close relationship, it's important for you to feel you're valued for the things other than just sorting things out for other people. You may not even know who you are without trying to save people, but only by letting go of this compulsion will you start seeing the other types of exchanges you can have between you and the people that you love. So when the 3 and the 5 come together, you are constantly dancing with fire. And you are here to lift everyone up with the finding of the dance. All the experimenting and experiences make the 3-5 the subject matter expert on life, the ups and the downs, the goods and the bads, the messiness of it all, and the beauty of it all. The secret to making this work is in the way you frame things. If you can see it all as wisdom and take it all gratefully and lightly, your life will get filled with fun and extraordinary experiences that just keep getting better and better and better. In this state, everyone will magnetize to you, because even when you're in the most uncomfortable, you will navigate through it with lightness of spirit that everybody craves. And life feels so much easier when you're so light about the different experiences and adventures that you take. You can live high highs if you live your design. It's not to say you won't have challenging moments, but you will know how to alchemize them and turn them into gold. However, because society praises drama and pain, the 3-5 can often feel like they should hold on to the heaviness and hardness of their lows, which only serves to perpetuate the lows. So the more we tell the story that it's heavy and hard, the longer we stay there, and it becomes difficult to see that a really, really, really great thing can come right after the challenging thing. So when you share your life experiences, this is why sharing is important for you. When you share your life experiences and wisdom with others, with that beautiful lightness of spirit, it makes everyone else feel more unafraid and more excited, and perhaps learning more about the parts that society doesn't always want us to explore. The 3-5s, which is you, are seen as the most relatable and lovable people. This draws people to want to live vicariously through you, to learn about your wisdom on life. So the world has valued us for what we know, but for you, your value is what you have learned. You will feel more harmonious with age, as the experiences you accumulate will have built up more and more wisdom inside you. People see you as someone who's designed to lead the change, and as someone who has something to say, even though you see yourself as just figuring it out as you go. For this reason, a lot of famous people and public figures are 3-5, because they are the people we want to live vicariously through. Know that with time, as you embrace your life as one big, fun, playful experiment, this will build confidence, and you'll feel more comfortable in the value of sharing your experiences. So you don't have to turn your experiences into specific guidance. That's what I do. You don't have to create instructions and guidance for people on how to live their lives in order to be of service. People will gain so much more just hearing you talk more about your own personal experiences. Your specialty is experiencing the full spectrum of what life has to offer, not the nice, neat little theories about life that people like to hear because they sound good. So be careful that you don't edit out the messy parts just to make others feel more comfortable. It's okay to ruffle the feathers a little bit, because life isn't always graceful. And since your message is helpful to all kinds of humans, it's good for the 3-5s to stay constantly exposed to new people and not to stay attached to people, relationships, and routines. So putting too much energy into forming close bonds will drain you, because your life purpose is to interact with many, 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 many different people. In intimate relationships, you need encouragement from your loved ones the most. Also remember that you're not here to put most of your energy into one person, because you're here to spread your gifts far and wide. You need to be with someone for whom that works just great for. So let me repeat that Remember that you're not here to put most of your energy into one person, because you're here to spread your gifts far and wide. So you need to be with someone for whom that works just great for. So you are here to see the amazingness of this physical life on earth the most. You are living it on the front line to report back to the rest of us. Woo! So manifesting generator, your energy type, you have the friendly energy type where people want to be around you and come to you. They feel safe. You're here to share about your experiences. You are here to have all the experiences. You are here to be around many different people. So not close bonds, many different people. You are guided by your intuition, your gut instinct, and you are 3-5. So you're here to be the great life experimenter and to report back to us what life is all about. A 3-5 is also the one that learns from mistakes. At the subconscious level, you are only valued if your solutions are practical. Like your wisdom is through your own life experience. That is the theme of your life. You are experimental and experiential in nature. So, as I mentioned, you're bound to make mistakes. And your job is to constantly ask yourself, how did that affect me? Thus internalizing your own results. So you, the 3 in you, cannot rely on anyone else's life experience to understand something. You must try yourself to know it. So words are not enough for you due to your inward focus. So you can't just watch someone else do something, but you need to actually experience and live it yourself to know it and to be able to share it later. So obviously you already know that you have great interpersonal skills with people. And actually, the 5th line is the ruling line. However, you don't see yourself as such. Other people see you as the father, the lover, so they see what they want to see in you. Your 5th line, as I mentioned before, you can influence anybody. And typically, people that you don't know, strangers, you influence the most. And you have the pressure to have the right information. So you get to learn from your own experience, experiment, feeling, and then be able to share it. And strangers resonate with you more. So you can sell to strangers a lot easier than you can sell to people that you already know. So that's your 3-5. Okay, and the strategy we've already talked about. Your strategy is the way that you make things happen in your life and how you go about making your dream life come true and how you manifest. The world has taught us to push and force things as they happen, but you have a unique way of drawing your dreams to you, and you will feel much more ease, fun, and grace when you let things come to you. So the universe is constantly sending you clues and signs of what is meant for you based on what excites you. So when you hear these full body yeses from other people, that's your entire body saying, go this way. That's how you make decision, is by responding. So write down responding is the strategy, is how you make your decisions. It's responding and trusting your gut, which is your authority. So every single manifesting generator and generator are always responding. They are here to respond to the yes, no, this or that life brings to them. And the way that you know if the yes or no is yours is with your gut intuition. And your whole body lights up and you feel it from the inside. Your gut speaking to you. So sometimes when people disregard their gut, and that's their authority, the body starts to malfunction because the body is always speaking. And some people don't listen to it because they give the power to the mind, and this is why the body begins to shut down. So that's very important. This is why it's good to understand human design and how you operate and how to trust yourself, your inner knowing and your inner wisdom, and how to navigate through life based on your authority, based on whichever, if it's your feelings or your body, your gut, to make decisions, as opposed to how we've been taught to make decisions with our mind. So you respond, and you've got to ask people to say this way or this way. You cannot respond to open-ended questions. So these could be direct opportunities that you respond to, or invitations that are indirect, like somebody asking you questions about something. Everything is there for a purpose, for you to respond to it, and it leads you in the direction of your life purpose. The answers are all around you. You don't have to sleep on it, like some people that have an emotional authority. You don't have to sleep on things to figure them out. You know right away. Your body gives you the clues, and they're not based on logic. So you are not meant to know what you want out of thin air. You have to have somebody from the outside stimulus, to respond to, asking you if you want to go this way, if you want to have this event, if you want to do this. The sooner you trust that responding is your strategy, the easier your life will become. So, for example, if you are the one initiating a lot of events, for example, if you are an event person, you are not living by your design, because you're here to respond. If somebody asks you to have an event, now you are responding if your whole body lights up. But if you're coming up with the idea and you're just initiating it yourself, that is the job of a manifester. This is when you can meet some resistance in this life, because you're not living in your strategy and authority. You don't have to push or force things to happen. You respond to them if they feel good, and then everything happens with ease and grace. And when you light up about something, completely trust it and throw your entire energy into it, and you don't have to lead it to the end. You're energetic type, you don't have to lead it to the end. If you feel like your entire body is saying that you fulfill your mission in this area and you need to move on, you got to trust that gut intuition and move on. You don't have to actually complete. So the key to making your dreams come true is only saying yes to the things that light you up, and saying no to the things that do not light you up, and trusting that your inner knowing has all the answers. You make your decisions, and you make them in black and white. There are no shades of gray. So maybe is not something that you operate in. You're either a full in yes, your body tells you the answers right away, or you're no. Because your gut is black and white, and it's all about what lights you up. The sign that you are on the right path in this life. So your sign is the feeling that you have when you're living your design. It's the universe signaling to you that you're on the right track. When you're using your energy correctly, you'll always feel that your sign comes up in your life. So you never have to do any guesswork to know whether you're in alignment or not. Your sign will be there to show you. Your sign to know that you're on the right track or not is satisfaction. Satisfaction is this feeling that lights you up, is feeling lit up about life. This is that feeling you get when you're living a life to the fullest. One where each day is filled with things that please you, big or small, that you have consciously chosen. So your perfect cup of coffee in the morning, the buzz in your work life, a warm cuddle with your loved one, the tennis game, everything that makes you feel alive, and the good kind of crazy days that make you feel invigorated. When you string the moments together of your day and you feel a sense of content in each one of them, you get to the end of the day and you can't help but let out a good kind of satisfied sigh. One that means that you used up your energy throughout the day, and it brought you back some awesome returns, and you're fully ready to check out, hit the pillow, and psyched to do it all over again the next day. So the sign that you are on the right path is satisfaction. let me repeat real quick. You are a manifesting generator, so you are here to say yes, no to different projects, and you can fuel multiple projects at a time, and you don't have to sleep on it. You don't have to wait until you're fully into something or not. You don't have to lead things to completion. You are run by your gut intuition, which is how you make decisions. This is your authority. You are 3-5. So the great experimenter in life, you have to experiment it in order to understand it. You have to live it. You have to try it in order to fully understand it. You cannot see someone else's experiences and learn from it. You have to learn it your own way, in your own time, with your own body and your own feelings. And then the 5 in you gets to report to people how you've learned something, and gets to report to people both the sane and the insane things that are coming in from the inside, and the way that you've learned them, not a structured way as somebody that creates systems and processes like I do. You get to report as it comes to you through your own experiments, and it doesn't have to be structured, and you get to influence a lot of strangers because you are the ruling line. You get to influence a lot of groups of many different people, and a lot easier for you to actually influence strangers, people that you meet on the street or people that come to events, a lot easier than people that you've been close to for a while. And your strategy, as I mentioned, is to respond with yes, no. So that's the way that you talk to yourself, to your subconscious, is asking yes-no questions between two different things. Should I go to this restaurant or this restaurant? Should I have this event that I was invited to or this event? So not open-ended questions, but very specific yes-no questions that you get to respond to as a manifesting generator, and trust that gut intuition, that inner knowing that's communicating with you, that's always telling you which way to go. Because the more you trust it, the more, when you have more difficult questions, like should I charge this client $10,000 or $20,000, it would be easier for you to know which one and which way, what you're really aligned with based on your gut intuition, because you have trained yourself to trust and listen to it. Okay? And the sign that you are on the right path is satisfaction. So the way that you manifest in this life, this is very, very interesting, is non-specific. So manifesting, it refers to the way of bringing things you want from the metaphysical into the physical. So from idea phase into the physical 3D, into reality. You are designed to manifest in a non-specific way, which is a method that's very new to this world. So traditionally, we tell people to get clear on exactly what they want, jot down the I's, the T's, the dates, to make a vision board, to write a list. This is very much about the person and what the person wants. We get told if you know exactly what it is that you want, you will go out and get it if the vision is clear. But this is not true for you. You can and are meant to have a beautiful beautiful things happen in your life without having asked for them or wanted them specifically. So your work is to have a general idea of what you'd like, and then to stay open to how the universe will fill in the results of that manifestation, because they are so much greater than what you could even imagine yourself. So when we say general ideas, let's say you want a career as a journalist. You don't have to know which magazine is ideal for you. You'll be guided to the right one when you leave it to the universe. You just have to point in the right direction by knowing the essence of what you want. It's good, isn't it? It's good.
I love it.
It's good. Oh, I wish somebody did this for me when I was doing it and put it all together. Anyway, let's keep going. There's some juicy parts coming up. Oh, yes. So, you want to mute yourself again? Okay. So, as we mentioned, the manifesting, your manifesting process is not specific. Some people it's specific. They need to know the date and time, and yours is general. So, you generally need to know, for example, if you want to have your own retreat center, you got to find pictures that light you up of general retreat centers, and not specific like specific manifestors like myself that need to know, like, June 31st, I'm going to have 3 clients, da-da-da. Or if, for example, you want to $50,000, like I don't know, $500,000 in your bank account. So the vision for you is the bank account of $500,000, and you can say different specific ways in which you want to manifest it. So you can say the different specific ways in which you want to manifest it, but you do not need to be specific in terms of the attached to the details of how they're going to come about. So you can have an idea of, for example, you want a certain number in your bank account. You got to know that that's what you want, that gives you pleasure, satisfaction. And now on your vision board, you put general ideas of how you think that it may come about. So it doesn't have to be necessarily only through, let's say, clients and high-ticket offers, even though that helps. There could be many more different avenues that can come and fill in for you, as long as you have kind of a general idea of the types of different things that you like to do, and you can bring value to people. So, for example, let's say you want $100,000. You want to see $100,000 in your bank account, and you have a general idea that you need to maybe create offers for people, events for people. So the types of things that light you up, for example, if it's events and if it's group coaching, for example, you can write the different types of things on your vision board, and then the universe is going to help you manifest through one of those or something else, as long as you are doing the things that you love and you are clear about the generality of your vision, not a specific thing of how it's going to get accomplished. So that's your way of manifesting. It's much more broad. It's non-specific. You just have to go towards the direction of your intuition saying yes, 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 this way, this way, this way, this way. So resist the world telling you that you need to have a specific vision planned out, because you are not a specific manifester. So a lot of non-specifics get pulled out of their natural way of doing things because they live in a world that's always asking them to describe and quantify exactly where they're headed and the path they're headed. But you're not supposed to know. You're not meant to have a 5-year plan. The only thing you ever have to have is the general idea and the general feeling. So for you, whenever you get very set on something turning out in a specific way, it's like putting blinders on, which narrows down what can come to you, and may shut down the most ideal outcome from coming to you if you get way too specific. You're not meant to know what you want in such a detailed and specific way. It's a practice in letting go of control when it comes to your dreams and really understanding that you're not really totally in charge. You create your dreams with the universe. You just have to get in touch with what your soul really truly wants. And then instead of trying to figure out how, it will all unfold. Stay open to being surprised and delighted. Woo! So I sent you a picture of your design. Let's quickly open that up. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gates. And you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 filled in, as you can see from that picture. So the ones that are filled in indicate that this is who you are, that this is you. So for example, that first brown square that you see up top, that's the throat. That's your throat is defined, and that's the center of your communication. So for anything to become reality, it has to go through this channel. So anything that you want to become real, you have to speak it into existence. So this is the center that expresses the energy. It's everything that you want has to come through your throat. You have to ask for it. So people with a defined throat can share who they are via that center. So anything that is coming through you and it comes through your throat is real for you. This is you with you. So you have to speak things into existence, whatever it is that you want. If it's more money, whatever it is. If you go down and you see that yellow diamond, that is the center of identity. The identity center is about love and the self. So this center for you is also defined. As you can see, it's colored in. And people with defined identity center have a consistent and reliable sense of who they are. So their identity of how you know yourself doesn't change depending on the people around you. You also experience love in a consistent way, no matter where you are or who you're with. If you go down, you see that circle, that's your sacral. That's also defined. You have access to it all the time. And the sacral is one of the most important centers. It is your source of life-sustaining life force energy. It's your creative energy. It's one of the four motor centers in the body. And the sacral center, it responds to whatever comes toward it. As I said, you are a yes-no responder. From unimportant invitations for lunch to significant events like marriage and career change. So the sacral, just like the chakras, is positioned 2 fingers below the belly button. And it opens up when it's used correctly. And whenever you're using your energy correctly, by responding yes to things that light you up, you get rejuvenated. And it brings you lightness and satisfaction. And when it's not used correctly, it leads to frustration and feelings of pressure. So people with defined sacral have sustainable energy for hard work. The wisdom for the center is to select the work which feels right for you. The response from the center is from the belly button. So it's got nothing to do with reason, as I mentioned before. To the right, you see that little triangle, that little red triangle with the 21, 51, 26, 40. That is your heart. That is your heart center, your ego. The heart center is about your willpower, your ego, and your courage. It is one of the 4 motor centers as well. It is related to material survivor and can be possessive and ensure the survival of the family and the tribe. It has nothing to do with love. The defined heart center is a consistent source of willful energy. So it's your will. And people with defined heart center can reliably make promises and deliver on the promises. They may appear arrogant to some people that don't have the center defined. And what I mean by that, when you are speaking up, speaking your truth, whether it is at an event or online, some people that don't have the center defined may see you, myself, I also have it defined, as arrogant because we are speaking up. Because they don't have that ability from inside of them to have this willpower, this courage to be themselves. So when people spend time with you, they have access. It's called quantum connection. They have access to this center so they can speak more and have more willpower when they're around you if they don't have the center defined. Now, when people don't have the center defined, they don't have this ability to express and speak on their own, from their own experience. They don't have this power. So they don't know what it feels like to have this power that comes from within, this strength. So to them, from the outside looking in, you may appear too arrogant by sharing your truth. But to you, this is your truth because you feel it, and this is your inner knowing, and you have the willpower and courage to be able to share that with the world. This is your truth based on your experience, based on your experiment. So whenever other people from the world come and they judge and they criticize, they just don't have access to the type of information that you have access to. And they only have access to it if they are in your frequency and if they are open-minded. Now, if they are closed-minded and they don't understand, then what's different is obviously ridiculed because they don't feel it in their body. They don't have access to that. This is why taking things impersonal helps us understand that people have different access to different types of energy and different types of being, and it's not personal when people come and give their own opinion. They just don't have access to the types of wisdom and information that you have and the willpower and ability to share it. So that's actually what's helped me a lot, is understanding that people have access to different things. So when they're looking from the outside in, they may not have access to the same information and wisdom that I have, or the consistent sense of love like you do, connection with love. This is why, first of all, they need you. And second of all, we can't take what other people say personally because they just don't know. Unless they've been coached by you or they're conscious enough to understand that you're giving them another perspective of life, another sense of being, which now they have access to if they are open-minded to hearing. So now if we go to the left triangle, that's your spleen. And the spleen center is associated with the immune system and spontaneous intuition. It's the oldest and most primal awareness. It only works in the now, and the voice is subtle. People with defined spleen should listen to their gut feelings. It provides them with survive. However, they should know that it speaks only once, and it doesn't have the ability to second guess itself. I've already talked about that. So the undefined centers are the ones that are not filled in, and you get access to those by working with different people. And these are called quantum connections. So for example, if you look to the right, you see that white triangle with the 36, 22, 37. That's the solar plexus, and that's emotional. Your emotions are not defined, which means that if you are around anyone who is emotional, every emotion that you feel is not necessarily yours. You can feel other people's emotions that have an emotional body at a level of a 6, but they inside of them may feel them at a 2. So some people that are run by their emotions, they get to sleep on things before they make decisions. They get to run the emotional roller coaster. You are not run by your emotions, so you don't have an emotional roller coaster to run. If there is an emotional roller coaster inside of you, it's coming from other people. And those people that have the emotional center defined, they're run by their emotions and they need to trust their emotions. You don't have it, so you don't get to trust your emotions. You get to trust your intuition, your gut impulse, your gut feeling only. So whenever you are around other people, some may have emotions. Some may have their emotions defined, which means that they are run by their emotions. And sometimes, like for example, because they're run by their emotions, and sometimes they may have anger or different frustrations that run them inside of their own bodies. People that are run by emotions can feel something at a 2 that you may feel at a 6 because you are not run by emotions. And our job in this lifetime is, if anybody is asking for our guidance, is to point out how other people are making us feel, because they themselves may not know that energy that they're exerting out because they're living so deep inside of their story, inside of their emotions. So if you have any questions on this, please write them down, and I will address them at the end. And let me just do a couple last things. I think you have a lot to digest. When you are not living in your sign, which is satisfaction, how you know that you're on the right path, if you're not living your design, if you're not saying yes to the things that light you up and no to the things that don't, you create a steady flow of frustration in your life. So the energy gets stagnant in your body if you say yes to things that your whole body says no to. And when that energy gets stuck, this feeling of being stuck and not being able to move things forward, even if you try, this is the true definition of frustration. Attempting or reaching for something, but it not happening. Frustration can show up as literal frustration, irritation, feeling stuck, feeling uninspired, and incapable. This is always a sign showing you that you have the power to change your situation by changing one of your thoughts or behaviors around the situation. So how frustration can look in your thoughts. Nothing is happening. This is not going the way I want. I'm bored. I'm over this. I'm being forced to do this, but I don't want to. I have all these obligations, and they're starting to weigh me down. They're heavy on me. I want to shake them off and be free. I feel like I'm having the life sucked out of me. I'm being pulled in all these different directions. It seems like everyone else is doing what they love, but nothing is coming to me. I should be able to create happiness, but I just can't. I have no energy to do what I dream. What's the point of all this? Why does it feel like walking through mud and taking so much effort to get things done, and I'm so tired? So remember that this is not your true self. This is your not self, aka life showing you that you're not on the right path and you're not living in your design. So in order for you to get back on track, you've got to create generalized manifestations that lead to a sense of satisfaction at the end of the day. And as I mentioned, the manifesting is not specific. So now, give me a drum roll because I'm about to read to you your life purpose. Woo! And this took me a long time to understand, and this is coming to you with ease and grace because I know you're ready to hear this. So your life purpose, you're the right angle cross of the sleeping phoenix to 20-3455-59. Your life purpose is to busy yourself with what makes you happy. Because if you're not busying yourself with what makes you happy, you're inadvertently busying yourself with what brings you down. So every human in this lifetime has a different theme. Your life theme describes the main energy you're meant to bring into everything that you do. And it's called a theme because it means it's meant to run through all the areas of your life. The same mix of skills and essence will bring you success and alignment, whether you're at home, friends, work, or in the grocery store. When you are living according to your life theme, that's when you know you're on the road to your purpose. So as far as the universe is concerned, your purpose is not just achieved at work, because the universe doesn't compartmentalize like that. It wants you to see you sharing your specific essence everywhere you go. When you bring your essence to the table, you signal to the universe and the people around that you are being who you are meant to be. And this is when people gravitate toward you the most, when opportunities and synchronicities flood to you, because you're simply being the person you came here to be, so that all the good things that are meant for you finally fit. So busyness is in your bones, and it's a beautiful thing. When you are busy and doing things that light you up, you create such a surplus of life force energy that feeds you, takes you higher and higher, and also elevates others. It's like you're spreading aliveness juice. Woo! And you can probably think of a time when you had such an excitement project or a situation that you voluntarily threw yourself into because you wanted to, and how damn good you felt about yourself for doing it. That's what meant to create. That's what we want to create for you. But as your default setting is you are here to do the things that light you up. That is your life purpose. You have to do the things that only make you happy, because if not, as I mentioned, you are going to be doing the things that break you down. As a manifesting generator, you know that when you do anything that doesn't light you up, it drains you immensely and takes you down. With this life theme, it doesn't matter what the thing that lights you up is, just that you are busy and you are happy. Because it's not about your job title or the role that you're playing or carrying. It's, are you spreading that aliveness juice into doing it? So your life purpose is to busy yourself with what makes you happy. Ta-da! And as we shared earlier about the 3-5, your personality is that you're the great experimenter. So you get to experiment with life, and then you get to lead, which 5 is meant to lead a lot of people, especially strangers, and influence them. That is the leading line. And that's what a lot of celebrities and things have, this 5 line, because they are meant to lead, just as you are, many different people and many strangers. So just a couple last things. I know we've already gone over our time, but the way that you are meant to eat, your digestion, is closed taste. The best way for you to eat, and you're designed to eat, is called closed taste. So it's healthy for you to eat the same meals over and over again. This is because you have an older digestion system, and it's based on when people had no choice but to eat seasonally and locally. So they are pretty much the same foods every day until the season changes. You thrive off having the same breakfast, lunch, and dinner day in and day out, and it's the same for you. So don't listen to the wellness gurus that tell you that you need to have a variety. That's actually unhealthy for you. If you feel like you want to eat sushi every night of your life, that's your innate digestion speaking to you. Honor it. You don't have to be open to trying new things. You also don't have to try something in order to decide if you're going to like it. You can already tell. You have finely tuned instincts that will tell you what foods are good fit for you, what foods are a good fit for you, just by looking at them. So trust that mechanism, and don't force yourself to be more open-minded than you are. If you do come across something new and like it, that's when your daily rotation of food will change, because you want to eat that new food again and again and again. Or you'll change your rotation because you travel somewhere, and with that comes adjusting to certain meals that suit you better in that place. Go with it. This is correct for you. So eating patterns are very, very important to you. You might want breakfast at 7 a.m. one day, and the next day you may want it 11 a.m. That's fine. That's your pattern. Your brain sometimes isn't ready to take in food in the morning. So if it's telling you no to food, trust that. The more you pay attention to your hunger cues, the better. And the more you can truly stop eating when you've had enough, even when there's only 3 bites left. And you tell yourself you might as well finish it, it's better that you trust your intuition that tells you to stop. So that is your, it's closed taste. Your strongest sense, which is the sense, your spidey sense, out of the six senses that we have, is feelings. Picking up on the vibes and feelings. So each of us has a strongest sense, and it's the dominant sense that we have. It's the sense that, when heightened, makes you feel most alive. It's kind of like your love language with the world. Each sense has its own language, and when you speak your language, people receive your gifts the most deeply. It makes whatever you do more effective and valuable. So if you're doing events, for example, they get you to a place of feeling, and when you're sharing with other people, you're sharing feelings with them, because you can experience it for yourself. They can experience it for themselves and experience their feelings. So if you are doing events, for example, and you have different experiences and you experience feelings, then you can share the same feelings with other participants that are experiencing in the same event. With feelings as your strongest sense, the vibe of something will tell you much more than what you can take in with your other 5 senses. So everything that you do is about the vibration, the feelings that you feel around doing it. Without trying, you feel the energies in the room. You sense the shift in vibration when someone says or does something. It's like you're a barometer of energy, sensing what makes it go up and down. When this gift is not developed, you can sense things and feel affected by them. You can go into a place where the vibe is off and end up in a bad mood because you aren't practiced in realizing that one caused by the other. When you start to pay close attention to your feelings, you'll see that what's affecting you is actually your special ability to tap into the energy of the feeling. So it's different than being guided by emotions. This is your spidey sense, being able to understand vibrations, feelings. It's different than emotions, because emotions require for you to ride the roller coaster of up and downs, which you do not have that because your emotions are not defined. So these are two completely different things. So let me know if you have questions about this at the end. Once you're aware of your speedometer, being able to understand feelings, Your ability to read energies will strengthen, and you'll energetically be magnetized towards things that fuel your spidey sense. This is your gift to the world. Since you are versed in what feels good and what doesn't, you know how to make people feel good with whatever product or service you are creating. So don't look at ideas from facts. Feel into the dynamics at play. Read between the lines and tap into the energies that are involved in situations. So in your personal life, it's easy for you to tune into the energy field and the feelings because you're extra sensitive to something being on or off. So try not to take it personally. If you feel something negative, it doesn't mean that you're bad or they're bad. It's just that you're picking up on an added layer of energy. You pick up a lot of intel about people and situations just by the vibes that they're emitting. Just use this to keep refining your abilities to read things without attaching any narrative or stories or ego or blame to it. And as I mentioned previously, you are a non-emotional type. And that means that all the emotions that you're experiencing, majority of them, they are coming from other people. So, yeah, I think that's good. That's a good point to stop.